Thank you and good afternoon, and I truly am thankful that you've given me this opportunity to join you today, and I know that that invitation wasn't universally popular, so straight off let me deal with the elephant in the room. Some years ago I wrote an article reflecting on my visits to Auschwitz, intending to show my solidarity with the Jewish community over the Holocaust and modern anti-Semitism. It included a reference that now I deeply regret, and I would certainly not use it again. And I can only repeat how sorry that I am for that. And as Shadow Education Secretary, I often reflect that we all have a lot to learn, including myself, and that is exactly why I want to engage with the Jewish community. But I know that this all goes wider and deeper. You don't have to go far to find views that are rooted not in lack of education or engagement, but in simple bigotry. This year, we have seen the horrifying consequences of that culture of conspiracy, theory and outright bigotry about Israel and Jewish people generally. That must be confronted in the wider society, but we cannot rest as a party until we have also rooted out anti-Semitism within our own ranks. I know that it's taken far too long and has been appalling, and I've seen the abuse that my colleagues Luciana Berger, Ruth Smith, Louise Ellman and Margaret Hodge, amongst others, have received. And I have no doubt the fact that they are Jewish women has been a big part of that abuse. And it must be stamped out for good. And I truly hope that we are now making progress with changes to speed up and strengthen our internal procedures. And I'm glad that the likes of Tony Greenstein have been expelled, and I want us to be clear that those who distort history with likening Hitler to Zionism are no longer welcome. The changes that we passed at party conference should make that much easier, and I'm confident that we will see more progress. I very much hope and expect that outstanding cases will be dealt with swiftly and appropriately without further delay. Quite simply, anti-Semitism can have no place in our party. It is perfectly possible to criticise any government, including the Israeli government, without being racist. But there is simply no excuse for anti-Semitic tropes. That is why I'm glad the Labour Party has adopted the IRA definition of anti-Semitism and all its examples. I wish we had made progress much faster, but now we must enforce it. And if we are to tackle this problem, we need to engage meaningfully with the Board of Deputies and other representatives here, because we cannot be content until the Jewish community is satisfied that we are making progress. And part of me being here today is to assure you that I want to make that progress with you as well. Above all, I'm conscious that it's actions that matter and not just words. And as Shadow Education Secretary, I've read the Board of Deputies' Jewish manifesto, and it's clear that there's a lot of consensus between us. Jewish schools play a vital role now, and they will continue to do so as part of Labour's National Education Service. I saw myself the great work done by Jewish schools like King David High in Manchester on my visit there, where I was able to speak to staff and to students. I recently announced policies to ensure schools are accountable to their communities they serve. I want to be clear that we will not stop faith schools, including Jewish schools, retaining their character and the ethos, nor admission systems that don't preserve this. Students and staff in Jewish schools must feel safe with their necessary measures taken to guarantee their security. I know that there are real concerns about the current relationship between the strictly Orthodox Jewish schools and both Ofsted and the Department for Education, and I have made clear my own concerns with Ofsted too. When the department talks about British values, then it should be clear religious tolerance is one of our British values. I'm sure that we all agree that every child deserves an excellent education and to be safe in school that has supported them and that has helped them to succeed. So there is a duty on all of us to support every child, no matter what gender or sexuality, and to respect the ethos of the different communities. And my starting point is dialogue and not diktat, including with the Board of Deputies and with all traditions within the Jewish community, to ensure that every Jewish child can thrive in our education system. I truly believe the power of education to improve our shared life. Education comes from engaging and learning from one another, and I thank you for that opportunity to do so. Let me end with this. I know we face a huge challenge to regain the trust of the Jewish community, but it's a challenge that we in the Labour Party must meet, and we must do so with our actions and not just our words. To you, your family, your friends, I wish you a happy Chanukah. Thank you.